To complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. Former Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr. walks free following his acquittal in plunder charges that stem from the multi-billion pesos pork barrel scam. Revilla was released around 6 p.m. earlier from the Philippine National Police Custodial Center in Camp Crame. The Sandigan Bayan 1st Division cleared Revilla of plunder raps after the prosecution panel failed to establish beyond reasonable doubt that the former lawmaker directly or indirectly received kickbacks from fake projects partly funded by his Priority Development Assistance Fund funneled through Janet Lim Napoles' non-government organizations. Revilla was accused of pocketing more than 200 million pesos in discretionary funds while he was senator. After languishing in detention for almost 5 years, Revilla says he wants to spend time with his family for now and avoided talks about his future plans.
Adjust muna.
To be with my family. Later, pupunta ako sa... I'm going to visit my father. Muna church. And then, I'm going to visit my mom sa cemetery.
At last.
Despite his acquittal, Revilla is still facing 16 graft charges stemming from the PDAF scam. He has posted bail amounting to 480,000 pesos for his temporary freedom. Meanwhile, the camp of former Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr. plans to file an appeal on the ruling of the Sandigan Bayan on his plunder charges. Voting 3-2, the Sandigan Bayan 1st Division acquitted Revilla but found his two co-accused businesswoman Janet Lim Napoles and Revilla's former Chief of Staff Richard Cambe guilty and sentenced them to reclusion perpetua. The accused were also ordered to return solidarily and jointly to the National Treasury the amount of 124 million pesos.
If he is not criminally liable, how can he be civilly liable? So we will have to look at the decision very well and what the basis of the civil liability.
The court's ruling has left some lawmakers puzzled, with Senator Francis Pangilinan assailing logic behind the majority decision. Senator Panfilo Lacson, meanwhile, said that as a friend and former colleague, he is happy for Revilla, but as an advocate against the pork barrel system, he feels weak and defeated. Former President Benigno Aquino III, on the other hand, feels glad it is not his job to explain the ruling, which he described as confusing. The court has spoken, and as its co-equal branch in government, Malacañang will abide by the decision of the Sandigan Bayan to acquit former Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr. of plunder charges and convict his former staff Richard Cambe and businesswoman Janet Lim Napoles in relation to the pork barrel scam. This was the statement of presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo on the recent ruling of Sandigan Bayan on the plunder case of Revilla, Napoles, and Cambe in connection with the alleged misuse of lawmakers' Priority Development Assistance Fund or PDAF. Panelo added that the judiciary performed its constitutional duty of delivering justice. Panelo assured that the executive branch will continue to respect the independence of the judiciary and will implement the final orders of the anti-graft court on the said matter. He added that either camp may still file an appeal and pursue remedies available under procedural laws. Meanwhile, former Senator Jinggoy Estrada expresses high hopes that his plunder case will yield the same results as that of Revilla. Estrada says he was speechless when he heard the decision and felt happy now that his good friend is a free man.
Dapat na salita para express yung aking nararamdaman ngayon. Spend more time with his family dahil 4 na taon din sila nakulong, and we'll hit the campaign trail soon.
Estrada was a co-accused of Revilla along with the former Senator Juan Ponce Enrile in plunder raps in line with the multi-billion pesos pork barrel scam. Estrada and Enrile are on temporary liberty after posting bail last year. The anti-graft court said that though they found irregularities in the disbursement of Estrada's pork barrel, there is no strong evidence to show that he is a main plunderer. According to a legal expert, the anti-graft court's decision may still vary, though the 3 former lawmakers were all accused in the same plunder case.
Cases are decided on their own merits, so I'm sure that the court will decide on the merit of each case. The decision in one does not necessarily affect the other case.
In other news, a Davao City court orders the arrest of Senator Antonio Trillanes IV over the criminal case of libel filed against him by presidential son and former Davao City Vice Mayor Paulo Duterte. The order issued by Davao Regional Trial Court Branch 54 Judge Melinda Alconel Dayanghirang mandated law enforcement agencies to arrest and present Trillanes to the court within 10 days upon receipt of the arrest warrant copy. However, Dayanghirang allowed Trillanes to post bail prescribing 24,000 pesos as bail bond. On his social media page, Paulo Duterte expressed elation over the arrest warrant against Trillanes. The senator, on the other hand, said in a statement he will face the charges and will post bail before the appropriate court on Monday. The military believes that imposing martial law in Mindanao remains necessary despite the neutralization of mounted terrorist leaders. According to Armed Forces of the Philippines spokesperson Brigadier General Edgar Arevalo, the security situation in the region remains vulnerable, citing remaining Maute sympathizers scattered in different parts of the country. Arevalo notes that the biggest threat to national security at this point is the presence of foreign terrorists, and cutting their ties to local terrorist groups is one of the biggest challenges the military is currently facing.
Nangyari ho yung Marawi at nangyari ang paligid natin, marami ding banta sa ating security. Pero what's the biggest, General, na nakikita ninyo na banta sa seguridad natin dito sa Pilipinas?
Sa ngayon, Kuya Daniel, ang masasabi natin na isa pa rin sa pinakamahigpit na banta ay ang foreign terrorists. Pagkatapos po ng kanilang kabiguan sa Iraq at sa iba pang bahagi ng Syria, ang kanila pong kagustuhan ngayon ay lumipat, magtayo ng isang wilayat o probinsya sa ibang bahagi ng mundo. At ang nakikita po nila ay ang Southeast Asia.
So we're talking of the ISIS pa rin ito?
Well, yes, opo. Yung grupo nila. At when we talk about Southeast Asia, Pilipinas, and we talk about Philippines, ang Mindanao pa rin po ang kanilang nakikita.
Given the situation, the official believes it is high time that the country's anti-terrorism law, specifically the Human Security Act of 2007, will be amended to impose extension to the period of detention and surveillance of suspected terrorists to at least 30 days.
Yung martial law naman po natin, ang malaki lamang pong naitutulong sa atin yan. Yun nga po, on the grounds of terrorism, pwede nating hulihin yung isang tao even without warrant. But you can only hold them for 36 hours or maximum of 72 hours. So balik pa rin po tayo doon. And then, kung chinarge mo siya wrongly, 500,000.
And for the news abroad, here's Kath Dumaraos live from Bangkok, Thailand. Kath, good evening.
Good evening, William. The government of Japan is looking at improving its defenses against cyber attacks. Japan plans to ban government purchases of equipment from China's Huawei Technologies Company and ZTE Corporation to beef up its defenses against intelligence leaks and cyber attacks. Local media have reported the government was expected to revise its internal rules on procurement as early as Monday. A lake spreading over 23 acres of land in India has been drained of water following the discovery of a dead woman's body. This report tells us why.
Indian authorities are pumping water out of a sprawling southern lake after the discovery of the body of a woman infected with human immunodeficiency virus. The water was drained from the lake on demand of local residents in village Marab of Darwood district, about 440 kilometers northwest of Bengaluru, the capital city of Karnataka.
Recently, an HIV-positive woman committed suicide from the pond, and the people are now refusing to drink water from the pond.
The lake spread over 23 acres of land, locally known as Jagirdar's Lake, is the only source of drinking water for more than 1,000 locals. According to locals, the body of a 36-year-old woman was found on November 29 floating in the lake. Part of the body, locals said, had been eaten by fish, which increased fears that it would spread the infection. The drainage operation has run for the last 4 days, and fresh water from a nearby canal is to be used to replenish the lake over the next 4 to 5 days. It was not immediately clear what the cost of the drainage operation is. Doctors have dismissed claims that the locals risk being exposed to HIV if they consume the water. Health officials says a chlorination treatment could have been undertaken for the satisfaction of villagers.
A team of officers have been sent from the last 2 days to convince the villagers, telling that water needs to be tested, and if found good for drinking and other purposes can be further utilized, and that they should not drain the water.
Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
The Canadian government denies involvement in the recent arrest of Huawei's global chief financial officer in Vancouver. Meanwhile, a U.S.-sponsored resolution condemning militant group Hamas for firing rockets into Israel fails to pass at the UN General Assembly. Beverly Saison tells us why.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said his government had no involvement in the arrest of a top executive from Chinese telecoms giant Huawei. Meng Wanzhou, Huawei's chief financial officer and the daughter of its founder, was detained at Vancouver Airport on a U.S. extradition request.
I can assure everyone that we are a country of an independent judiciary, and the appropriate authorities took the decisions in this case without any political involvement or interference, as must be the case. However, this is a case, obviously, before the courts, upon which there is a publication ban, and it would be inappropriate for me to comment further.
China has demanded her release, calling the arrest a human rights violation. The charges have not been made public. Huawei said it was not aware of any wrongdoing by Ms. Meng. Meng faces a bail hearing on Friday. The Eiffel Tower in Paris will close on Saturday amid fears of further street violence from yellow vest anti-government protests. Across France, 89,000 police officers will be on duty and armored vehicles will be deployed in the capital, Prime Minister Edouard Philippe announced. Police have urged shops and restaurants on Paris' Champs-Élysées to shut, and some museums will also be closed. Paris saw some of the worst rioting in decades last Saturday. The government has said it is scraping unpopular fuel tax increase in its budget, the original trigger for the protest. But broader discontent with the government has spread and protests have erupted over other issues. And in New York, a U.S.-sponsored resolution condemning militant group Hamas for firing rockets into Israel has failed to pass at the UN General Assembly. The resolution won a majority of 87 to 57 with 33 abstentions, but did not reach the required two-thirds backing. U.S. Envoy Nikki Haley had said adoption would right a historic wrong, as the UN has not passed such a condemnation. Beverly Saison, UNTV News and Rescue.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, William.
Thank you very much, Kat Dumaraos, live from Bangkok, Thailand. A pod of dolphins delivered some unusual entertainment to onlookers on board a boat in the Mediterranean Sea on Wednesday night as they fed on bioluminescent plankton. The boat was 120 nautical miles off the coast of Gibraltar as the dolphins began swimming alongside, highlighted by the fluorescent light given off by the minuscule plankton. The tiny organisms emit the light as a form of defense, illuminating their prey, who themselves become more vulnerable to other predators. After approximately 30 minutes of feeding, the dolphins left the boat to continue their travels elsewhere. Several programs of UNTV get an UpTV seal anew this year. Leslie Langbowen tells us why.
With the aim to promote child-friendly programs, Anak TV Awards was born. The Anak TV seal is given to programs with contents that are safe for the youth. Shows from different networks have been reviewed by students, parents, and teachers from different parts of the country. Some of UNTV programs have received the seal again this year. These include Get It Straight with Daniel Razon, Good Morning Kuya, Itanong Mo kay Soriano, KNC Show, Serbisyong Kasangbahay, and Truth and Focus.
Marami po kayong matututunan sa KNC Show, maging mabait, maging magalang at magbuhat opo sa mga nakakatanda sa iyo.
Yung mga values, of course, tinitingnan natin yung values na talagang pambata, yung syempre yung respect, yung honesty, and then yung service para po sa kapwa natin.
At nagpapasalamat kami kay Kuya Daniel dahil every time na mag-conceptualize ng program, laging top priority kung ano ang values na makukuha, na maituturo sa kabataan, bata, matanda, lalaki o babae.
According to Anak TV Incorporated President Elvira Yapgo, children should be considered when conceptualizing programs.
Na dapat yung may mga kabuluhan programa ang ipalabas at hindi puro chismis, di ba? Kasi ang iniisip natin, ang future generation, sila po ang magiging leader natin. So dapat ngayon pa lang bigyan na natin ng tamang values formation.
Meanwhile, hosts of UNTV's Bible-based kiddie program KNC Show presented in the event a song of hope for the future generations. Leslie Longmoan, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
And those are the reasons behind the news December 7, 2018. On behalf of Rheena, Villamor-Camara, and Angelo, Castro III, I am William Thio. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Happy weekend to everyone.
UNTV, your public service channel.